Okay, hi, this is just a very small video for installing and uninstalling additional Active Directory. So we have two servers here, server 1 and server 2. So we're gonna run both of them, turn on both of them. Okay, and we're gonna install already on server 1 we have Active Directory, and on server 2 we're gonna install another Active Directory, which is additional domain controller, and it's gonna be like additional DNS and additional global catalog. And after we install all of them, we will uninstall. So we'll learn now how to uninstall and to install and uninstall. So it's just a simple method. It will not take just 5 or 10 minutes. Let us first log in both servers and see what's before installing and what's after installing. The difference between before installing on the second server and after installing on the second server. We're still waiting the machines to boot up. Seems to take longer than usual. Okay, now administrator. Okay, sorry, password for this one and another password for this one here. Both machines has been already turned on and booted. So here the IP of server 2 is 02, and let's check now the DNS and the IP configuration here. Let's go to properties here and see what's written. Okay, it's 01. It's indicating to the first server, and for the first server we can check from here, this one, right click properties. Okay, 01. So this is the first part. Second part, let's check if second server has any Active Directory installed or DNS. Before we do that, no, there is no DNS, there is no Active Directory. While on the first server, here is a DNS, this one, okay, and here's an Active Directory. And let's go to Active Directory sites and services and see how many sites here for Active Directory. Sites are here. Okay. Default ones. Servers. Sorry. We have server 1, server 01. Okay, let's go to the DNS as well to check that. We want to know the differences between, so we can go back after that. See, Humber local. We can go back after we install Active Directory and see what's the difference. And here's Humber. And reverse zone, it is this one, and the forward zone is for the Humble local. Okay, global logs. Okay, so now we knew now what's already installed and how it shows. Now we'll go to server 2 and we're going to install additional Active Directory. So it is so simple by typing DC promo. And of course, you should be logging as just an administrator, or your if your administrator credential is disabled, use the copied one, which according to what you study, according to what you already your infrastructure plannings. It could be user admin, it could be your name, it could be whatever you want. However, make sure you're just logging as administrator, because we faced this problem before, that when we logged as just a normal user, it will not work. Only the administrator has the authority to make the changes here, or to add or remove any features. Okay, so now we go to the next. We don't need any use advanced installations. And it says, do you want to create or not create? It's just another additional, so it is add a domain controller to existing one. Okay, so we're gonna add another one. It's like it automatically detected here Hamburg local, our domain. After that, it says the default site name. You could change this site name to any other thing if you want, but I didn't change it. I left it to the default. This site name could be changed by to be, for example, your site, or in US, Canada, Europe, whatever. Click on next. I'm gonna show you as well how this could be changed. It's just examining DNS. Okay, here you can remove the DNS or add it as you want, and you can remove global directory, or we can add it. We're gonna move the global catalog. We're gonna see how we can add it later on. Then we click on next. Here it says transfer the master rule to the domain. We don't want to transfer because it will make lots of load. So we're just gonna pick the second one, which is do not transfer infrastructure master rule to this domain controller. You can configure it which rule will be added, which rule will not be added. Did I check the first or the second? I'm gonna check. No, do you want to continue? I don't want to continue. I want to go back. So go to next again. Yes, let's check the next one. Yeah, I just said no because I want to make sure that I already picked the second one. Don't copy every single rule on the master one, which is on the server. Here it says delegation DN server cannot be created because of authority superintendence zone. So we'll continue for that. It shows here as the directories in TDS and the sysvol. So if on server 2 we type /srv02, currently there is no sysvol. Okay, so because there is no active directory, click on next. The password, you should type the password here. The benefit of this password, so you are adding a password to this server. So if you want to make a restore, sometimes you have so many different restore points. So according to each password you are typing, it will restore that specific copy, because otherwise you may restore something in old days or years ago, so it'll make a very big problem in your network. This will take time, and I'm gonna stop here until it is finished, then we'll continue. Thank you. Okay, now here, after it's already installed, we can click on finish and see if it's already installed or not. It requires to restart, so we're gonna restart now. And let's go to server 1 and see if something had been changed. If you remember, let's go to administrative tools. I think we installed the DNS, right? So let's see here if for the forward lookup zone, for the Humber local, we have both of them been there before. Okay, and the second one, administrative tools, active directory sites. Okay, now for the sites here, we have for our default, it was default servers, it was just server 1, now it is server 1 and server 2. Before it was just server 1. And here, yes, server 1 and server 2. Okay, so now let's see what's the difference between them. What's the type of both of them? This is the DNS. This is active directory. Sorry. Okay. So the difference here is the domain controller type. The first one is global catalog GC, and the second is just domain controller. So let's log in to the second one, server 2, and upgrade it to global catalog. And if you remember, when we checked the DNS for the properties of the network card, it shows us before just one IP of the first domain. This is we're working on server 2. See here, after installing DNS, another one has been installed, 127.0.0.1. If you remember that when we installed the DNS for the first time, so it has this Windows default one. So let's correct it to 0.0.2, because now we have the second server also working as another DNS, and now the second server is just working as domain controller, not a global catalog, as we can see here. Global catalog and DC. So let's now promote this second one, sign service, to global catalog, and see if when it's global catalog it will replicate between them or not. See, this is the sites. The sites here says Toronto, it was default. If you want to know how I did that, I just came here on the default, right click and click on rename, and I remain the name of the site, this one way of that. So if I click on properties for server 2, here is a global catalog, okay, unchecked, so I'm gonna check it to be promoted to a global catalog. And here, and see if this had been affected or not. Servers. Now see, both of them are global catalog. Okay, so it was just domain controller and now had been also a global catalog. And also for the NTDS settings, it's automatically generated from this. We are working on server 2, so it is now automatically generated from server 1, and from the site Toronto, which already changed the name by we just right click here and change the name of the site. So now it's generating from this one. Okay, let's go to the server 1, check if this is the same one. Here it shows on the server 2, it's already automatically generating, copying all the rules to be another global catalog. Okay, let's check from server 2 if it's installed the DNS. Of course, when it changed the second DNS 127.0.0.1, so now DNS, okay, for the second one, okay, for the Humble local, okay, we have both of them also here. So now we have an additional domain controller, and now since we are in server 2, let's check if you remember that when we search for the sysvol, yeah, it's now installed as well. So if you need to uninstall this additional domain controller, okay, all you need to do, just make the reverse process and type the same name. Let me just check. Here is on server 2 DNS and the Active Directories, computer and settings. Okay, and moreover, the last thing which has the Active Directory file on the Windows, scroll down to the N letter. Here's NTDS. Okay, M, modem logs, then offline web. Modem logs, NTDS, offline web. So on server 2, gonna uninstall by typing again the same command, dcpromo. Make sure you're typing on the server 2, not server 1. Okay. If you did in server 1, you're gonna install it from server 1. Okay. You see promo here. Let's close all of these. Modem logs offline. Okay. Okay. Now it says that you have the Active Directory domain controller is a global catalog server, because we already promoted to a global catalog, and as used as a processor user login, you should make sure other global catalogs are already accessible, which already I know it is already on server 1. When we went to the sites and service Active Directory, it shows that. It says delete domain because the server is the last domain. It's not the last domain. We have another last domain, which is the first one we installed. If you have more than one, so we can uninstall until the last one. Click on next. It asks for the password. You should type the same password you entered. If you type any other password, it will not work. This also will take another time, and we restart. After restarting, you'll find it's gone. There is no additional. Yes, it's done faster than before. Restart now. Go to server 1. Okay. Close this one. Close this one. Close this one. Go to again DNS server from server 1. DNS server and sites as well. Just server 1. Now it is only server 1, there is no server 2, if you remember. If you went back by the video, you'll find it was server 1 and server 2. Another thing here, that if you went to sites and services of the Active Directory sites and services, now this is, let's log in machine 2. Until site services is initiated. Yes. On the Toronto servers. Now this is just a GC global catalog, and if you remember, server 2 with domain controller, and we promoted to global catalog. Now it's here as just a member server. It's nothing more. It's not a DC, it's not a GC, it's nothing. It's just member server. See the difference? So let's go to server 2 and see what the changes happen there. If you remember, administrative tools. Let's see if it's connected to the server 1. This is server 2. Let's check sysvol is uninstalled, and the file which save the Active Directory files, if you remember, in Windows, when we scroll a little bit, it was modem logs, NTDS, and offline. Now NTDS even has been removed, so there is no Active Directory installed on that server. And let's see the DNS, if it, because we uninstalled the Active Directory, DNS server is still here. Okay, so we can uninstall it by the rules. If we enter the rule, remove a rule. So to remove a rule, see, here is a DNS. We can remove this. Okay, let's say next. Okay, remove it, because when I was on the administrative tools it was there. Okay, let's close now. We need to restart. See what happened after restart. So when we uninstalled the Active Directory, still DNS there. It was installed by default with the Active Directory, but when we uninstalled Active Directory, only the Active Directory was uninstalled. DNS still there. It should be uninstalled from using the Server Manager rules remove tool or remove feature, and it will be removed. Now if you remember DNS server, see, it was 1 and 2, now it is only 1. Go back server 2, see if it is already removed the DNS or not. Administrative tools, there's no DNS. So this is the way to install and uninstall additional domain controller and remove it. And started remove successfully, or succeeded, remove succeeded. Okay, for the next part, when we can add a rule, and this rule this time is going to be the DHCP server, this one. Okay, so we're going to make it on another video in order to be more specific and more focused, each video on a specific task. Thank you.